Hello ladies and gentlemen, Repeat Chess here, and today not ended actually, tomorrow there will be two tie breaks between Wesley So and Dominguez, and the second between Rapport and Wojtaszek. So this game was exciting in the sense that Esipenko had to win, and so he would then advance to next stage, and Hikaru had to make a draw. Okay, so let's see this game. Andrei plays e4. Before the tournament, some people were saying that he's not yet ready for this kind of not for the Grand Prix level he plays, of course, but for playing in the decisive stages. Yeah, that he couldn't possibly win this group, and he was really close to do so, but really got a bit unlucky, I think. So Naka plays c5, so no Sicilians, as he needs a draw. Bishop c4, alternative to playing bishop b5, and Hikaru is a big Berlin fan, so Esipenko wasn't in the mood to play Berlin as a decisive game. Knight f6 and a4. Move I really cannot explain to myself. You just play like this because engine says so. White takes a lot of space on the queen side, and probably he will play c3 before later in the game. So as Italian game is an open, it's an open game, yeah, and we thought that you need to play castles, yeah, but today everything is so different, yeah, that White just makes this this move which doesn't make too much sense to me, and they don't play castles, they don't play anything. So d6 and a5. Another move I don't really understand. We can explain it, but to play it in a real game, it's just ancient chess, I'd say. c3, and notice how White is not is not concerned basically by this spin. Yeah, I would definitely play h3, and probably it's not the best move, but engine doesn't show it as a good move. Yeah, but he plays c3 and allows black to play, and Hikaru doesn't play it. h3, h6. So, and I will say it again that in c3, why White is playing c3, the difference and advantage of White is because they take this important square on d4, and black with this knight on c6 cannot play c6. They have to maneuver their knight somewhere, and it takes a lot of time. So bishop e3 and the rook e8. Again, I don't know, I think it's some kind of engine idea. It's not that particular position, but I think that so many I think that this like 5 years ago they couldn't play bishop e3 because if you take and f takes c, then it's considered to be good for black, yeah, but now it's changed, yeah, and Esipenko plays this move and allows black to take, and White somehow shows how to create initiative. Queen b3 attacking f7, rook to b8, an engine move. So black wants to play something like bishop a6, but they can't because their pawn on b7 is not protected. So Hikaru protects it. d4 and knight to c6. You cannot really take here because then your pawn on f7 is hanging. So Hikaru played this, knight c6, and engine suggested that here white can win a pawn, yeah, by playing, not to win a pawn, but if you play here, yeah, then white takes and it wins a pawn, and if you go here, then they win a pawn this way, yeah, and after that protects with a6. But you normally don't want to play d5, and that's why I think Andrei didn't find this or didn't play like this, because you don't want to shut down your playing against on this diagonal, yeah, and it just counter yeah, like not natural, yeah, to close this diagonal. So he plays this now and plays bishop to f1. Knight h7, preparing f5. So they exchange the knights, knight to c6 and b4. I saw this pawn structure in Kasparov's games, but he played, I think, Rui Lopez, and Edger really likes this. Somehow he always uses this space to create problems, but in practical games I wouldn't say that black is so much worse here. f5, bishop d3. White is okay with like this kind of attack, yeah. He just defends, then puts knight on h2, bishop on e2, and says that black has now play against the king. So Hikaru decided to exchange the pieces, and knight to d4. I don't know whether Hikaru missed this, but this knight goes to e6, and now white really has advantage. This knight is bad, this e6 square is excellent, and knight cannot possibly attack this knight, and white can move the rook up, and so finally white achieved a good position. f4, and engine suggested knight b6 with like two ideas: to take the knight and defend this rook with b8 rook. That this gives black a good position, but really hard to understand what's going on. c6. So Hikaru starts to attack this d5, and he wants maybe open up the c file, because then he will have option to place his rook somewhere. Takes and e6, and engine suggests that queen g3 somehow wins, but I think if e6 is good move, it wins the tempo, and you want to take this recapture with this pawn. Rook f1 and rook f1. So so this position, Esipenko has only a minute, Hikaru has 5, and it should be winning, yeah, even though the engine says that after knight to d5 again black survives this attack, yeah, but so many just pieces near the king, and knight can go to f5, and this rook is protected, and this pawn is really strong, and this pawn is very far from queening. Engine can defend everything, but e7. So now white's advantage is +5, and every move according to engine wins. King h7, not to allow f8, rook f8 with check. This also wins, and rook g3. Engine suggests that this wins. just let's make the random move. Like if you take here, take, yeah, engine just says that they can take this pawn here, and they like improve slowly. Of course, when you have option to attack the queen, you want to move with tempo to win some time with these maneuvers, but this position is somehow worse than it was a move ago. Takes, check, and engine says that queen a6 was very strong. So this is move 41, and Esipenko had some time. I just like this because black king cannot move anywhere, and if you start taking things, which is the only logical move, and yeah, rook b6 for instance, yeah, and I think this is pretty much it. I don't know. I didn't like what Esipenko did. He exchanged. He thought that he will win a queen's endgame, but I think it's problem that you, when you're so young, you're a bit afraid to play this rook endgames. Takes, and he took on c6, which was probably his last chance was. Not to take this pawn, maybe not to exchange them, but to play something like, I don't know, queen c4, yeah, and the thing is that when you have a queen's endgame, you don't want to get extra exchanges, because these pawns, they kind of block black's queen from giving a perpetual check. And when you open up this position, yeah, it appears to be that white cannot just survive this infinite checks. Queen a7. And of course, black also have a passed pawn, and they cannot, I think, not worse here. Yeah, and that was game over. So both players agreed to a draw. All right, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.